Hello guys, what's going on? Welcome back to my videos. Today I'm bringing you guys the best abilities of every single Akuma in Shindo Life. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, remember to hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment for more. If you guys have any video suggestions such as this one, feel free to comment below. I do read every single comment and reply to them eventually. Anyways, guys, let's get right into the video. Alright, so we're going to be starting out with the basic Akuma. Now, in my opinion, the basic Akuma's best abilities are going to be the auto dodge, which is the second ability, and the actual C spec. Now, you guys have to note that the auto dodge was nerfed. As you guys can see, it only lasts for probably a second now when it used to last longer than that. I actually did get a nerf because it was absolutely dominating. It was absolutely dominating in CC, which is why I got nerfed. Now, the other best ability of Akuma, in my personal opinion, is going to be the the C spec of Akuma. Now, this isn't just the Akuma glitch, you know, that's not just what I'm talking about. In the full form of the Sasano from Akuma, you will actually get new abilities based on the weapons that you have in your Akuma. So as you guys can see, I have double swords, and with double swords, you get a new weapon spec and you get a new C spec. The new C spec is going to be, well, not a new C spec. That's my bad, guys. A new weapon spec. The weapon spec is kind of just like a sword slash from double swords. If you guys have the bow, it will shoot a projectile and things like that. And I think the C spec of Akuma is probably the main reason why people use it. You get a ton of stat points, and it doesn't drain that much MD at all. Not to mention that the auto dodge is also very good. Next up is going to be one of the most popular Akumas. It's going to be Bankai. Now, in my opinion, Bankai's best abilities are the auto dodge and the stun and the C spec. Now, if you guys do not know, the C spec actually did get a buff recently. I don't know if you guys knew that. It did get a buff. If you guys did not know, the C spec of Bankai now block breaks. Yes, it block breaks and it hits twice now. If you guys don't know how ridiculous that is absolutely ridiculous. It can break blocks and drain mode now. That is absolutely insane. And the C-Spec is probably the single best ability of Bankai now. But the auto dodge of Bankai is also very good. It makes it so you avoid abilities and things like that, as you guys can see. And it does leave a clone behind. He just killed the clone, but it does leave a clone behind as well. Now, the other best ability of Bankai, in my personal opinion, is the stun. I feel like the Bankai Genjutsu is one of the best Genjutsus in the entire game. It's a long-range Genjutsu that's super easy to hit. And it does stun for quite a while, and it is also on a very low cooldown. Now, next up is going to be the Forged Akuma. Now, Forged Akuma, in my opinion, is a very powerful Akuma, but it actually did get a nerf recently. If you guys do not know, the first ability used to stun for like 5 seconds. It was an extremely long stun. However, they nerfed it by like a second, I'm pretty sure. It still stuns for a very long time, and it's absolutely insane. The second ability of it is another stun that like warps him away, but in my opinion, the best abilities of Forged are actually going to be the first ability and the counter. The reason for this is because the first ability is extremely useful for infinite combos, and it also is not on the global cooldown. The second ability, not the second ability, the counter of it is extremely useful for just countering and setting up combos. I'm gonna have them attack me. I'm gonna use the Forged counter, and as you guys can see, it warps them away. It basically Kamuis them, and then you could set up a combo after that, and it is extremely useful for just PvP in general. Now, next up is going to be Raion Akuma. Now, Raion Akuma, in my opinion, is actually my least favorite Akuma in the entire game. I feel like it's not very good compared to the other Akumas. However, it is still very useful. Now, in my opinion, the best abilities of Raion Akuma are going to be the counter and the third ability. Now, the reason for the counter is the same as the last one. You can actually counter people, and it does do like a very mini stun, but it's just meant for damage. It's basically an auto dodge. That's what I like to view the Raion counter as. I just view it as an auto dodge. But if you guys did not know this, your third ability, while you're actually using it, this ability right here, while you're actually using it, you cannot take damage. It is an iframe, guys. It is an iframe. It is almost immediate, if not immediate. It is extremely useful for PvP. I feel like the third ability of Raion is actually the single best ability of Raion. But other than that, the counter is also the second best ability. Next up is actually going to be Satori. Satori actually did get a huge nerf recently on the weapon spec. So the weapon spec obviously isn't going to be the best ability of Satori anymore. But in my opinion, the single best ability that makes Satori a great Akuma Bloodline is the third ability. If you guys do not know, the third ability is a stun that actually lasts longer than you think. Now, actually, despite this, the stun of the Satori Bloodline is actually widely regarded as one of the single best stuns in the entire game, simply because it's long range. Super easy to hit. It doesn't actually go through blocks, so be aware of that. But it's just very good for setting up combos in general. Now, the second best ability of Satori is actually going to be the auto dodge. Now, the second best ability of Satori is actually going to be the auto dodge. The auto dodge does require hand signs, However, the best part of the Satori auto dodge is that it actually does create clones. I don't know if people knew that or not. It does create clones, and those clones can actually break block. And now that makes it absolutely insane as an auto dodge, and that is why it's going to be the second best ability of Satori. Now, next up is going to be Riser Akuma. Now, Riser Akuma is actually my favorite of all of them, and I feel like Riser Akuma actually has... Now, I feel like the Riser Akuma actually has 3 best abilities that are very equal. Now, obviously, the first one is going to be the C-Spec. If you guys did not know, they actually buffed the C-Spec of Riser so that it now block breaks as well, which is absolutely insane. I don't think I need to say again. It's the same exact one as Bankai. But the next best ability is actually going to be the auto dodge. With the auto dodge, you can actually dash into them and break their block. And that will actually make it so you actually can get the stun off. You can also use the C-Spec while inside of the auto dodge, which makes it absolutely insane. Now, the next best ability is going to be the third ability. Now, the third ability, in my opinion, is one of the single best abilities in the entire game. I feel like Rel doesn't need to nerf it because it does require a lot of skill to use properly. If you don't use it properly, it only does like 17k damage. It doesn't do anything for you. But the way that I use it is I use it whenever someone's about to shock slam on me or something like that. I use it, and then they shock slam into me. I don't take damage because it's an iframe, if you guys did not know that. And it will do about 100k damage to them. And it's just an insane ability if you guys know how to actually use it. But it's also very skill-based, which is why I feel like a lot of people don't use it very effectively. I see all the time in PvP when someone's like using it while they're like all the way over here. And then, you know, you only do like 2 procs of it, which makes it worse than a lot of other abilities. But I mostly use it for the iframes, and that's actually why I use the ability. I feel like that is the single best ability of Riser, but the other ones are also extremely good. Now, the last Akuma is obviously going to be Shindai. Now, in my opinion, the single best ability of Shindai is going to be the clones. Now, the clones is going to be the single best ability of Shindai simply because the clones actually do a ton of damage. They break blocks, and they're just annoying to fight in general, and they can be used in a ton of combos. But please know that the Meteor is also another very good ability of Shindai. They actually buffed it or nerfed it, however you want to look at it. They added hand signs, but now it almost hits the ground immediately, which makes the sun actually useful in combos in general because you can actually combo with it a lot better now. It's only like 3 hand signs. However, the cooldown is also extremely long, but that is actually going to be the second best ability of Shindai behind the first best, which is the auto dodge. Now, in this video, all of these bloodlines were actually very useful on their own, but the best way to get the best aspect of Akumas out of them is to actually mix them with other bloodlines. Now, I don't think there's a single Akuma that's very good by itself besides Shindai, other than Riser. But, you know, obviously, if you mix them with other bloodlines, they will bring out the best aspects of them, which is why I actually made this video, which is why I made the best abilities video, so you guys can know what abilities to pick out when actually using these bloodlines. But yeah, guys, it's going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the comment for more. Hope to see you next one, guys. Bye-bye.